Recorded Books presents Forged in Love by Mary Connealy, narrated by Barbara Mcculloh. Chapter 1. August 1870, Pine Valley, Wyoming, near the Wind River Mountains. A bullet slammed into the side of the stagecoach, carrying Mariah Stover, her pa, and her older brother. "Robbers!" The driver's voice roared in the hot Wyoming summer as the crack of a whip lashed, driving the horses faster. "Everyone, fight or die!" Mariah heard the man riding shotgun on top of the stage land on his belly and open fire from the roof. Bullets peppered the coach. Mariah sat between Pa and Theo, facing the horses. Pa, a Civil War veteran, snapped his Spencer repeating rifle into his hand and fired out the window in a steady, rolling blast. Theo threw himself to the opposite seat, occupied by two men who looked terrified. He aimed, fired, and fired again with his Colt pistol. Pa's rifle echoed the pistol in a steady volley of gunfire. Mariah dug for the pistol in her satchel and checked the load. She looked out the window to her right. No one there. Her pa and brother were tough men, used to Western ways, who knew that civilization was often left behind at the town's edge. You just had to hope the uncivilized wouldn't follow you right into town. You protected yourself, or you died. The stagecoach driver had it right. Pa fired out his window, while Theo used the window beside the two others. Both men looked more city than country, and if either of them had a weapon, he didn't produce it. Instead, they just slid aside for Theo. Mariah gripped a 6-shooter. When Pa paused from firing his Spencer, the one he'd gotten in the war when he'd been a sharpshooter, Mariah shouted, "Lean forward while you reload." Pa did so without looking or speaking, focusing completely on his rifle and trusting her to be tough, competent, and ready. Mariah watched out the window and saw 4 men riding ever closer, blasting away. One of them went down, likely from the gunfire of the man on the roof. She aimed and fired, and kept going, trying to get the most out of her flying lead. They were miles from town. No way to get help before these gunmen finished their fight, died trying, or were driven off. "Get back!" Pa hollered. Mariah needed to reload anyway, so she gave way to Pa's superior marksmanship. A cry from overhead ended the gunfire from the shotgun rider. Mariah saw him plummet from the top of the stage. As the 3 remaining outlaws rode past him, 2 of them fired into his body. Pa growled in disgust at the vicious killers. He opened fire again. Mariah had her gun ready to go when she saw someone coming up beside the window on her side. She whipped her head around in time to see the rider empty his pistol into the city boys until they were riddled with bullets. Her hair came loose from its knot on the back of her head and blinded her for just a moment as she cried out in horror. Then she glared at the skinny blond man. An ugly scar cut across his left cheek and through both his upper and lower lips. She pressed her body against the door and leveled her gun just as she heard a snap from under the belly of the stagecoach, an axle giving way. She opened fire on the gunman as the stage skidded sideways. Crimson bloomed on his left arm. He brought his gun up with a wicked smile that revealed one of his front teeth was missing, right in line with the scar. Their eyes met. He aimed. The stagecoach tilted wickedly toward Mariah's side and slammed into a boulder alongside the road. The gunman fell back to avoid the boulder. The stage hit so hard, the door flung open, and Mariah fell out,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?